All right. So then I was told that I was to surrender. I stepped back. I leaned into my healing work. I leaned into finding out those spaces inside of myself that felt kind of insecure with finances, insecure with what I am deserving of, insecure with what I'm worthy of, and began to notice the shift inside of myself and the way that I could advocate for myself, that I was more ready to advocate for what I desire and what I want, and to stand in the truth of what I'm deserving of, right? And I would see it play out when I would speak to, financial advisors or people that I would kind of like shy away from before, when it comes to credit, when it comes to finances, just in life in general. Like this is what I am deserving of. This is no, I'm on this journey. This is life. This is all of your life. So if you can pay attention to the spaces where you're trying to be taught, you're trying to be grown, you're trying to unfold into this greater version of yourself, mature emotionally, mature in the way that you interact with your world, it's going to benefit you so greatly. And it's happening all the time. It's whether we choose to pay attention to it or not. So here comes the taps on the shoulder. In June, early June, I received a text message from NACA, who I hadn't had any contact with, saying that there was an Achieve the Dream event in Queens that was going to take place at the end of June. And that's about 2 hours, 2:20 from here. And so I was like, still coming up kind of those feelings like, I'm not doing that, right? They don't, I don't know if I'm meant to work with them. And a week later, guess what? Psst, I get another text message, Achieve the Dream event. I was like, all right, I'm meant to go to this event. So I made the plans for myself. June 26th, I got in my car to drive up there. I'm listening on the way up there to Ron Carpenter, and I don't know if you're familiar with him, but the sermon was as if somebody had a megaphone speaking right to me. Another confirmation. And his sermon was about how he purchased his church. That he didn't have anything. Him and his wife were, teaching. They were teaching their Bible study and having their worship services out of a warehouse with no heat and no air in the South. And that he was praying for this church, this land. He could see the church, he could see the land, and he was praying for it. And he, was frustrated because it wasn't coming into fruition. It wasn't coming into being. He's like, Lord, you gave me this vision. Why are you leaving me out here? I don't understand. And he got tapped on the shoulder and was told that there are people that hold what you want. And your job is to pray for those people. Pray for those people that are in positions of authority. Pray for those people that are in positions of releasing to you what I am attempting to release to you, what I am releasing to you. But you need to get into alignment to start praying for those people that hold it. And that's all I needed, because for the next hour, I prayed for every person at NACA. I don't care if they were changing the toilet paper in the bathroom. I don't care if they were just checking me in and saying, hi, how are you? To all the way to the people that were the mortgage counselors and those that would be able to qualify me for a mortgage. I prayed for each and every person in that room that they would soften their hearts, that their hearts would be softened towards me and my family and this mission and this train that we're all on. Yeah. So I got there 12 o'clock, thought that was my appointment time because that's what it said, was 12 o'clock is your appointment time. And I walk into this huge casino with over 1,000 people in it, all wanting to achieve the dream. And there was a lineup of chairs. There was no appointment time. I got there, I sat in those chairs, and I saw people pick off the line, going home. They had other things they needed to do. And some of them were, frustrated because of the time it was taking. They had been there for 3 hours. They had been there for 4 hours. And this is just a waste of my time. And I don't know if anything's going to happen from this. And I could see myself in them in January. And I could see myself in them in February and March and April. And I knew that I was on the other side of that. And so I stayed. Spirit was like, sit your butt right there. Move in this line. Play musical chairs until you get to the front. And I sat there for 12 hours. I left out of there as the last participant in that building. But guess what? I used the clapper and I was qualified for my mortgage. I cannot express to you the feeling, and I cannot express to you the union and the confirmation of everything that had come to that point, everything that I needed to do to that point, every way that I had to have faith, that I had to surrender, that I had to say, this is my vision, but this is yours. And whatever you want from me is greater than what I want for myself. So I'm going to walk in what you're asking me to walk in. That's the separation of the ego part that is bruised, that is insecure, that has issues, that has trauma around money, because a lot of us grow up with trauma around money and handling that. And I had to set that to the side. And I knew that this feeling and this vision and this intention of my family in this home and this Christmas being the first Christmas that we have here, that drove that day. So I drove home 2 hours, happy as I don't know what. I don't care. And it felt just as good as I remember driving down with the windows home after I became a Zumba instructor and knowing that I did something for myself, that I've been pouring into all these other people, and now I did something for myself. And it felt the same way. I did something for myself, but I also knew now with greater vision that I did something for my children, that I did something that is now, it's mine. I don't have to move out at the end of a lease. There is none of that. And I hope that some of this resonates with you and that you stay on your track no matter what this world says. I know I said it in the last video. You have a mission. And this is only the beginning of mine. And you're only at the beginning of yours. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much you have accomplished. You're still only at the beginning. Can you dig in? Can you stay focused? Can you know that what's in your heart and what's in your spirit is more important than what this world is trying to do to you around you? Don't let anybody tear you down. Don't let them get into your spirit space. You're divine. I love you. Thank you for listening to this story. There's more to it, but I'll leave it there for now. Just know that I'm here. My family's here. And my mom will be joining us soon. We're going to make accommodations and modifications, and we're all going to be here partaking in this joyous space, that spirit that my father, that my grandmother, that my nana, that my great-grands, that my aunts, my uncles have all conspired to make happen. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope that this message hits you in your heart, and maybe there's something else on your soul that you're going to accomplish, that you're on your train track to. Don't you let anything take you off of that. But be powerful enough to surrender to what is greater. Be powerful to surrender to the divine vision and not just your own ego vision. Be well, everyone. I'm home.